Today's episode of Voiced is from r/true off my chest and is about 3 users who share their deeply personal stories, ranging from the impact of abortion laws to awkward morning after encounters and a surprising wedding gift gone wrong. Which one will leave you the most speechless? Subscribe if you enjoy. I would not exist if my mom had access to abortion. My perspective on the Texas heartbeat bill. My mom was 11 years old when her older brother's sexual abuse of her got her pregnant. Her parents covered up the abuse, forcing her to lie and say she'd been fooling around with a boy in her class. They hid her away from the public eye and shamed her for being pregnant. She begged to be allowed to abort me, but her parents denied her access to an abortion. Childbirth left her disabled. To this day, she has chronic pain in her hips and walks with a cane. Her parents adopted me and raised me as their own, believing my mother and father were my older siblings. My mother was sent to a boarding school, but on break, she was forced to live in the same household as her abuser, and the product of that abuse until she left home at 18. I found out the truth a year ago, when I turned 18. Suddenly, a lot of things started to make sense. Why my sister could barely look at me when I was growing up. Why she barely had any contact with the family after she left home. Why it always felt like something was off about my family and the way they saw me. I'd always felt like they were embarrassed of me, but I'd never known why. I am the kind of person pro-life advocates claim to protect. While my mom wasn't prevented from abortion by law, the outcome is the same. I, and many other babies, was born to an unwilling and deeply traumatized young mother. I was born a reminder of abuse, a shameful family secret. When an unwanted pregnancy occurs after abuse, this is the outcome many pro-life advocates hope for. This is the outcome the Texas heartbeat bill intends to enforce. I'm one of the lucky ones. I found out at 18 when I had the capacity to process it. My mom sought mental health care in her adulthood, and we've developed a positive relationship in the last year. I wasn't raised by a resentful mother, bounced between begrudging family members, or put into foster care. Many children born in similar circumstances grow up abused, openly resented, and traumatized. My life is fine, and my mom's life is fine, despite everything she went through. But if I could go back in time and somehow change her parents' minds, I would do so in a heartbeat. No one should ever be forced to endure pregnancy and childbirth against their will, especially a victim of abuse, and especially a child. No one should have the right to violate another person's body like that. Yes, I am grateful for the life I have, but quite frankly, I should never have been born. Wow, that's a heavy story about the complexities of life and the unexpected turns it can take. It really makes you think about the power dynamics in families and how they can shape our lives. Now let's switch gears completely. Ever found yourself in a situation where you thought you were being thoughtful, but ended up in a total disaster? Well, buckle up, because things are about to get a lot lighter. I got out of a bad relationship a few months ago, and only recently felt good enough to get out of the house again. This was my first ever boyfriend, and he turned out to be a piece of crap, so I was obviously a bit hesitant. But some old friends from high school were visiting my town and asked if I wanted to go on a bar crawl with them. And I figured, what the hell, it's not like anything will happen, other than getting drunk with some pals. So why not? At the first bar, we run into a group of guys from my university. I had seen some of them around, but never spoke to them before. One of my friends decides she's going to force me to get out of my shell and drags our group over to talk with them. I'm extremely quiet, like weirdly quiet to most people. So I end up sitting in the corner of our booth and not saying anything, just drinking and feeling awkward. Well, one of the guys in the other group, let's call him Adam, is also being weirdly quiet. So my friends and his friends, who are already tipsy, decide to make things as awkward as possible by making us play truth or dare. Except we have to drink when we don't want to answer something. There are a lot of personal or sexual questions neither of us want to answer, so we end up drinking quite a bit. And by the time we're done with the first bar, Adam and I are on a whole different plane of existence from everyone else. It turned out we had a lot in common, and he was pretty cute, and we were goofing around and laughing the whole time. I started to get butterflies in my stomach, and not just from the alcohol. Adam has my exact sense of humor and is really sweet and kind. We wander off and start having deep, drunk conversations about feeling left out of things and how annoying it is when people say stuff like, "Can they speak?" I tell him I'm walking home, and he offers to walk with me. I know where this is going, but I'm drunk enough that I don't feel nervous. Plus, I feel like I have a genuine connection with this guy. Our friends are wolf whistling as we leave, and instead of being embarrassed, I feel weirdly proud. So we get to my place, talk and smoke for a bit, and do the deed. I wake up earlier than him and decide I'm going to make a nice breakfast. I want to impress him and show him I like him, and everyone likes a good breakfast when they have a hangover, right? So I sneak out of bed and make scrambled eggs, French toast, and sausage. I prefer almond milk, so I use that for the eggs and French toast. He wakes up and tells me I look just as cute sober. At this point, I'm convinced he's the love of my life. He sees the breakfast and gets excited, and I'm like, yes! My plan worked. I'm going to get to his heart through his stomach. We eat, and everything's going great for a few bites. Then he makes a weird face and clears his throat. His eyes start to widen, and he asks me what if there were nuts in the bread or something. I say no, but I used almond milk. He jumps out of his chair and says, "Call an ambulance right now." I'm freaking out. He's wheezing and stuff and looks absolutely panicked. I ask if he has an EpiPen, and he shakes his head no. So I call an ambulance and tell them he's having an allergic reaction, and paramedics come and haul him off. This happened last weekend. I have not heard back from him since. I found his friend and confirmed he is not dead. I guess accidentally triggering a severe allergic reaction does not lead to romance. Tried to impress my romantic interest by cooking for him. Wow, that's quite a dramatic turn of events. From a breakfast gone wrong to a wedding day disappointment, it seems like life has been throwing some unexpected challenges your way. But let's dive into another story where family dynamics take center stage. This time, we're looking at a situation where a special moment is overshadowed by a family conflict. The poster finds themselves in a tough spot, trying to navigate the complexities of family expectations and personal boundaries. Let's see how this all unfolds. AITA for not taking down my video that was a gift from my best man. I have a sister who is 6 years older than me. My parents for years canceled on me at the last minute because of my sister. I have a basketball game. Oops, sorry. Sister doesn't feel like going out. I am graduating. Oops, sorry. Sister had a bad day at work. They have missed both major and smaller events in my life because of her meltdowns. I met the love of my life. We decided to get married. From the beginning, I told my parents that I was worried my sister would ruin another special moment in my life. My mom told me over and over again that it would not happen. The day of my wedding, I received a voicemail from my mom saying they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick, and she was upset. I was hurt. My best man, however, is a jokester. He took my phone, then went to my fiancée and asked if he could post a video of our wedding as a gift on social media. She loved his idea. I had no idea about it until I came home. Our honeymoon was at a lakeside cabin with no cell service. The post caption was, "My best friend. He is an amazing person, even if his parents never showed up for him." The video was still pictures of us next to her parents, me on the dance floor, cutting the cake, where you would normally see both parents in wedding pictures. The sound behind the video was my mom's voicemail explaining how they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick. I came home a week later to hundreds of messages. Family members from both sides were insisting that I take it down. I was told my sister hadn't stopped crying. My mom was refusing to leave the house. I may be the asshole here. I didn't take it down when I got my messages. I didn't call my family back right away. I waited until my vacation time was over at work and enjoyed my time with my wife in our new home before I contacted anyone. My dad told me to take down the video. It was just a bad night for them. That they will make it up to me and my wife for not coming. My reply was exactly, "How do you plan to make up my wedding?" It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You choose to ignore my feelings on the whole matter. Then, he just repeated that he would make it up to me. I told him I would take down the video only when he made up for missing my wedding. Flustered, we both hung up the phone before we both said things we wouldn't have. I could have just taken down the video. Before I talk about today's posts, please consider subscribing to stay updated on more engaging content like this. Today, we had some incredibly powerful and diverse stories shared by the Reddit community. The first post really hit me. It was a raw and emotional account of someone who wouldn't exist if their mom had access to abortion. The sheer trauma and abuse that their mother endured is heart-wrenching, and it's a stark reminder of the complexities surrounding reproductive rights and the impact on individuals' lives. It's a story that needs to be heard and discussed openly. The second post was a hilarious yet cringeworthy tale of a one-night stand gone wrong due to an unexpected allergic reaction. I mean, who knew making breakfast could lead to such a dramatic turn of events? It's a great reminder to always ask about allergies before cooking for someone new. Lastly, the third post had me on the edge of my seat with its family drama. The decision not to take down a video that highlighted the absence of his parents at his wedding is a tough call. It's a story that really makes you think about boundaries and forgiveness within families. What do you all think? Did anyone else have strong reactions to these posts? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Voiced. If you enjoy daily, high-quality stories, please like and subscribe to show your support.